Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another episode of Becoming a Wild Rift Expert. And I got an absolute banger this time because we're watching the supposedly #1 team in Europe, which is RIX. The reason that I'm saying supposedly is because RIX is kind of like a lot of the pro players think RIX is the best team. That has kind of been the case for like 1.5 years. But every single time there is a team that beats out this powerhouse team, which is RIX. Like, I agree that RIX is kind of the best team in Europe, but then there's these teams that just surprise them like crazy. And one of them is Ice. As you can see, this is the second game in the series, and this one is going to be an absolute banger. So, first game, IceCream actually took a game from RIX in 13 minutes. 13 minutes. And honestly, that's just a crazy thing to say. And so if you look at this game right here, it has a very, very interesting draft because it seems like a lot of these teams are going for ability power carries again, also known as APCs. Because if we look at the side of RIX, it's Doom that's playing the Morgana, and if we look at the side of IceCream, it's actually Ibu playing the Varus. And I know Varus, is an ADC, but it's not like the normal ADCs, like basic attack ADCs. Varus is kind of like an APC as well. It's played like it as well because he has the poking, right? So what I'm trying to say is like the traditional ADCs don't seem to be played as much again, which I find interesting. It really depends on the region as well. Like Europe seems to, for Europe it's honestly mixed because I do see a lot of teams still go for the ADCs, but RIX especially, I honestly don't really understand why, because Doom is an absolutely incredible AD carry player, but it seems like, they have coaches, they draft in a different way, so they're picking the APCs. There are some obvious advantages to the APCs because most APCs have better wave clear than an ADC. Because if you look at ADCs, Jinx for example, or Tristana does have a pretty good wave clear, but still not as good as, Morgana, not as good as Ziggs, not as good as Orianna. Also Varus. Varus has very great wave clear. Right here, Random. Oh, actually going for the flash. That is so painful. Random tried to go for the play. I just quickly want to show the replay of that, guys. So here we can see the fight happening, right? Like Random and Aman are both at low HP. Random is playing the Renekton, which is a very strong early game champion, but there is the gank from Solo Bolo. And then it's a flash silence from Aman. He goes for the ignite as well. Random so nearly got that kill. And let me tell you right now, if he did get that kill on Aman, he would have survived. Because he would have leveled up, which heals him up, and then Solo Bolo would not have really been able to kill him because he's playing Karma. So close. Honestly, kinda unlucky. Like, those are the types of things that really kill the mental, right? Like, that kill right there should really let Aman just destroy Random in a lane. Because even though it's Random, who is, in my opinion, the best Baron laner in Europe right now, that destroys your mental. Like, things like that hurt so much because he was so close. He was this close to getting that kill right there, but unfortunately he didn't get it. I am talking like this though, but Random is a professional player. His mental doesn't get killed that easily, right? Like, I watch his stream a lot, and this guy is incredible. Like, his mental is super powerful, which makes him one of the best players as well, right? Like, he gets killed like that, but he'll go right back to his lane and make the amazing plays anyways. And right here we see a dive from IceCream. It doesn't really work out. They tried to use Echo's ultimate to dive, and now they get punished for it, right? Like, snitch on the Zed, getting that kill for free. Honestly, well played by both teams right here because IceCream had a very good kill. Their dive was also a good attempt because Echo is very good at diving, right? Like, you dive, you can tank up a turret shot and use your ultimate to go right back. And then Snitch came from the mid lane as well. He followed up and he just picked up a free kill to equalize it. So they both got one kill right there. So like, both teams' macro game is very good. So let's take a look at what's happening right here. This is very interesting. Both teams have put the mid laners in bot lane, and while I'm talking, there is a fight happening right now, but they're unfortunately unable to pick up the kill on Aman, and boom! Aman is actually getting the kill himself, and Random yet again making Aman 1 HP, but just unable to get that kill. The reason that they were not able to get that kill is because Seven, unfortunately, on the Shyvana did not have his ultimate. But what I was talking about is both mid laners are in the bot lane. Look at the map, guys. Both mid laners are in the bot lane, and both bot laners are in the mid lane. And this is the exact reason both teams are playing APCs or Varus, because they swap lane like this to get lane advantage in the mid lane. So, APCs are gonna push out the mid lane, and then you can rotate. If it's a fast pushing champion against a slow pushing champion, for example, if it would have been Varus against Jinx, Varus would have been able to push out the lane very easily against the Jinx and roam around to top lane, bot lane, jungle, and help out. If that would have happened, it would have been a massive advantage for the Varus, right? And that is why these two teams are picking these APCs or Varus to be able to push fast. Like they can push fast, so the opponent cannot do the rotation, right? So the opponent cannot do the rotation. So let's see, Hull Breaker on Garen. Interesting. I feel like a Hull Breaker needs to be responded by RIX as well, because a Garen with a Hull Breaker is just unbeatable in a 1 versus 1. It's just crazy, crazy powerful. Another thing that I want to talk about, by the way, is I just love RIX's composition, honestly, because they have everything. There's no items or runes that counter this composition, because they have so much CC. They have so much heavy AD. They have so much magic damage. They have everything. Like, they have everything. As the team of IceCream, you kind of have to get Mercury's threats, because, you know, Morgana plus Nautilus is just unbelievable CC. But if you get the Mercury's threats, you know, you're gonna get destroyed by Snitched, and 7 on the Shyvana, and random on the Renekton. So it's just so hard for IceCream to decide how to counter this composition from RIX. Let's take a look at what both teams decide to do. Random on the top lane is pushing, Aman is gonna take care of Random. Makes sense, right? Aman should be able to take care of him easily. It seems like Random wants to go back, give away a turret, and rotate to the dragon. Interesting. So RIX is going in right here, but it's actually Clue that's being caught, and a beautiful Varus ultimate. Ooh. And 7 on the Shyvana going in as well, doing massive burst damage, but it's just not quite enough. And as I'm saying it, it is actually enough, because Snitch on that Zed with the beautiful follow-up on his ultimate, making sure he gets 2 kills. And right here, RIX has a massive advantage. This is horrible for IceCream. Honestly, I would have preferred to see Aman just push the top lane. Like right here, Aman could have just pushed the top lane and gotten a whole turret for him. Even if RIX gets a dragon, honestly, I would say it's fine. Because like they get a dragon and Aman gets a whole turret, and Aman would be insanely ahead of Random. He would have been level 9 with like a 2000 gold lead. And this is the thing that I don't see enough, honestly, which is Baron laners taking a turret when the enemy team is taking the dragon. In a recent patch, I believe like 3 or 4 patches ago, dragons got nerfed. In general, literally, every dragon got nerfed. You know, the stats that it provides you. So dragons became less valuable. And right here you can see it happen, right? IceCream is giving away the dragon, and they're even giving away a dragon against a Shyvana. The reason that they're doing it is because they have a better late game. You know, they have Yone, they have a Garen, they have Echo. These are all late game heavy champions. If you look at RIX, for example, they have Renekton, they have Zed. These 2 champions in particular are kind of early game champions. The reason that I'm saying kind of is because Zed can be good, but Zed is not good into this composition of IceCream. I'll get in, as in late game. I'll get into this later. So, IceCream, they have the better late game composition. What are they gonna do? They're gonna trade objectives. RIX goes for the dragon because they have a Shyvana. Makes sense, right? But I would consider this a win for IceCream, because IceCream was able to get the Herald, which means they'll probably get a mid lane turret, and they're scaling, right? Like they're scaling to the late game slowly but steadily. So the reason that I'm saying that Zed is not gonna be good into the composition of IceCream in the late game, because normally Zed is pretty decent in the late game, especially with the ultimate changes, right? You can spam your ultimate. Sure, enemy can use stasis enchant, but your ultimate cooldown is like 20 seconds. But if you look at the composition of IceCream, should I actually make this the test your knowledge? Yeah, you know what? Take a look at that composition. Just take a look at their champions and try to bring as many reasons why Zed doesn't work into this composition of IceCream in the late game. Test your knowledge. Pause the video right now. Put it in the comments. This is a hard one, but this is gonna be a really good one for you guys out there, especially if you want to learn how to counter a Zed. Like if you really have no idea what kinds of champions to pick into a Zed, I really recommend you to really do your best to test your knowledge for this one. Pause the video, because I'm gonna reveal it in like 10 seconds or something. Because there's a lot of concepts, a lot of things that certain champions have that counter Zed, especially in the late game. So I'm gonna tell you right now. First of all, Garen. Garen is too tanky for Zed. So that's the first thing that counters Zed, right? There are literally champions that are too tanky for Zed to kill, right? So Garen is one of them. Garen is too tanky. Number 2, Echo. Echo is a champion that can avoid Zed's ultimate. Zed goes on Echo, and right before the death mark, Echo uses his ultimate. Other examples are like Fizz. Fizz can jump. Sorry, not Fizz actually. Zed does counter Fizz. But other examples are Camille, for example. Zed goes on Camille. Camille uses her ultimate to avoid the Zed damage, right? She can avoid all of the damage. So Echo is one of those champions. If you look at Yone, Yone has a lot of mobility. Mobile champions also kind of counter Zed, like Ezreal as well. Yone can use his third ability, he can use his tornado, he can use his ultimate, he can do all of that to avoid the shurikens from Zed, to really reduce the damage from the ultimate. Next up is Varus. Varus is amazing as well. Why, you would ask? Because he has amazing CC to counter the Zed. Zed goes on him, Varus uses his ultimate, and Zed is stuck. So champions with big CC are also good into Zed because they can counter that ultimate. And then next up, Karma. Karma is also good. Why? Because of the shield, guys. So if one of her allies get ulted, Karma uses the shield, which gives movement speed to her allies, which, yes, is also a thing that counters Zed. Movement speed. So Karma provides a shield and movement speed to her allies. The reason that movement speed counters Zed is because when an enemy is very fast, Zed cannot hit the shurikens, right? That's the point of it. So IceCream has all the answers to Zed. They know that. They know that they have all the answers to this composition of RIX. So they're waiting for the late game. They're just trying to scale up and win the game in the late game. So, like, there are so many things that counter a Zed in the late game. And IceCream pretty much has all of them, really. So let's take a look at the vision game, actually, from both these teams. And honestly, both teams are doing a phenomenal job with the vision game. They both have great vision on the top side of the map, and they both have decent vision on the bottom side of the map. So it's not like any team is winning the vision game. Like, both teams are using sweepers, both teams are using wards, both teams are using control wards. Interesting, wait a minute. Snitch has the anti-shielding item. I forgot what it's called, but he has the anti-shielding item. Taking a look at the composition of IceCream, is it worth it? Let's take a look. Garen, which is Iron Man, he probably goes for a Stone Plate enchant, so it counters the Garen. Echo's ultimate gives him Echo's second ability gives him a barrier, which gets countered by it as well. Yone's second ability gives him a barrier, which gets countered by it as well. Karma gives barriers, which gets countered by it as well. So amazing item by Snitch right here. He is effectively countering out all of the barriers from IceCream with the item. I'm sorry guys, I forgot the name of the item. Sometimes I have these brain fart moments. But yeah. So very, very good item right there. Interesting. IceCream is gonna try to fight here. They feel strong enough to fight, and they actually just straight up got the Rift Herald right here, which is really, really good. Although I don't agree with this fight. There you go. Like, I don't agree with this fight because they're still at the early stages of the game. But now that I'm talking, they are winning the fight, but they're taking a risk. They don't have to win this fight. They're still at like an early mid-game stage of the game. Like, they could have just lost that fight. If they lost that fight, they would have lost mid lane and they would have lost Dragon. So very good Herald take, but I would have said that it would have been safer to just go back there. Although, you know, they showed that they were able to fight. It's not gonna be a mid lane turret, but it's okay. Like, they're just dealing some damage to the mid lane, and oh my god, Random doesn't even give a chance to Citrus on the Echo right there. Now IceCream has a problem. It's a 4 versus 5, and the second dragon is up. RIX already took the first dragon. You know, the individual dragons are not strong, but when you stack the dragons, that's where it starts to become problematic. So RIX is just rushing it. 7, you know, 7 is Shyvana, so he does more damage to the dragon, so they can take it so fast. IceCream literally has no jungler, but 7, he's taking a lot of damage. He's actually dead. 7 just got killed by the Garen ultimate. No way. And the dragon is coming too. Oh, the dragon got stolen. This is tragic for RIX. This is tragic. Absolutely tragic. This was their thing that could have won them the game. Taking this dragon to perhaps still try to outscale IceCream, because a way to outscale a composition that is better than you in the late game is by taking dragons. Taking 2 dragons, especially 3. If you take 3 dragons, you're gonna be so buffed. So taking those dragons allows you to kind of outscale compositions that are better than you in the late game. So this is absolutely tragic for RIX. Like, it may seem like, you know, it's just a dragon, whatever. It's just one dragon. No, it's not. A dragon got denied from them. The big dragon buffs got denied from them in the late game, which they kind of desperately needed in this game. Chinxi is not going to be able to fight Random. I don't think he's going to be able to fight Random. Even though Random is low, I don't think he can. There we go. So he's not able to fight Random because his team is right there. Hey, yeah, he got the kill. Wow. Yone just got the kill against Random. Random has a whole breaker and yet he still died? What? I'm genuinely surprised by that. That is incredible. Now, is that Yone being broken or Chinxi doing good there? I would say Yone is just very, very strong right now. Like, Yone in this current patch, the fact that a champion can do that to a Renekton in a 1 versus 1 is crazy to me. Like, very, very, that's just crazy. Let's take a look at Ayman, however, the Garen. He's probably going to be splitted from his team for a while. Same with Random, by the way, because both of them have the Hull Breakers, right? They're going to be split pushing. When you have the Hull Breaker, you get buffs when you're alone. You get bonus armor, bonus magic resist, you buff your wave, and you do 20% more damage to turrets. So it makes a lot of sense to be alone with a hull breaker. So very likely we're going to be seeing Aman against Random in the side lanes quite a lot. And we've reached the stage of the game where Random is probably never going to be able to win a 1 versus 1 against Aman, because Renekton does beat Garen in the early game. He can beat him in a 1 versus 1. But late game, no. Like late game, you just don't win. Especially if Aman is able to use his second ability, which gives him tenacity and reduced damage when Random stuns him. If that happens, Aman is never going to lose the fight. Like never. Aman is split pushing. The reason that I don't think this is a good idea is because even though he may get an inhibitor, RIX wants to fight this, right? Like RIX wants to 5 versus 4, and even if Random goes back, a 4 versus 4 is actually better for RIX than a 5 versus 5. The reason is because Aman is stronger than Random. So if Random goes back and Aman is back, it's a 4 versus 4, which RIX has a much better chance of winning than if it's a full-on 5 versus 5, because this is Aman is a whole level ahead, has more gold, and Garen is stronger in the late game than Renekton as well. Here you can see a fight is happening under the turret of IceCream, but I want to put my eyes on Aman right now. I mean, take a look at Aman. Just bonks Doom from 50% health. Like, it's nothing. This is what I mean. This is why the 5 versus 5 is so much better for IceCream, because they have that Garen in the late game compared to the Renekton, who is also underfed. So this is just not a good fight. And now 7 uses his ultimate. This was just kind of a disastrous fight for RIX, to be honest. Everything went wrong, and oh, here you can see it. Even Ebu doesn't die. They had a good engage on Ebu right here with Snitch following up as well, but they just didn't get the kill. They really didn't get anything in this team fight, to be honest. This is just a full-on IceCream win, because IceCream is getting further into the late game, which we talked about earlier, is better for IceCream. And they're getting another turret. They're gonna steal away the enemy jungle as well. This is just a massive win for IceCream right now. And RIX is honestly falling apart. Just everything is just falling apart. And here we can see a replay of the fight. And I mean, take a look at what's happening right here. Everything went well for IceCream, and everything was disastrous for RIX. Like, you can see only now the Shyvana ultimate is coming through. It doesn't do anything. And then the one kill they could have gotten on Ebu, they played this one perfectly, as you can see, because Snitch got the damage off and Shyvana tried to do the damage as well, but it was just not quite enough. And at this point, I don't want to say you're beating a dead horse, but RIX really needs to come up with something right now. They really need to come up with like a crazy strategy. Random does have a hull breaker, so it does open up the potential to split pushing. But if you look at how much gold everyone has, Random is 2,000 gold behind the Garen. And Garen has fully itemized well against Random, even having that Bramble Fest, so Random is not going to be able to heal up. There's just no way Random wins a 1 versus 1 against Aman. No way at all. And while I'm talking, Changxi, what are you doing? That ultimate, you just got caught. Changxi died, and this is potentially an opportunity for RIX to make the comeback, because the Elder Dragon is spawning in 23 seconds. And while I'm talking, I mean, look at Aman. Look at Aman. He is literally ignoring Snitch. Look. This is exactly what I was talking about. Aman can pretty much ignore Snitch. Snitch is never gonna. Aman killed Snitch. Aman even killed Snitch. Like, this is why I'm saying Zed does absolutely nothing into this composition of IceCream in the late game. The one that is able to kill off the Garen is the Shyvana, of course, because Shyvana, when she gets 300 stacks, she will start to do true damage. But I mean, Snitch is just in such an unfortunate position in this game right now. He just can't kill. He cannot get the kill anymore. While I'm talking, 7 is just chunking down this dragon. But at this point, like, this is the second dragon. And I don't know, like, imagine if they hadn't lost that second dragon. Remember the second dragon, guys? I'll put it in the bottom right of the corner right there. The second dragon, the mounted dragon. Do you guys remember that one? Imagine if RIX would have taken that one. If they would have had 3 dragons by now. And then it would have been different. They would have been so much stronger right now if they had 3 dragons. So much stronger. Like, the difference that it makes is absolutely crazy. Like, I want to stress how important it is, like, to get 3 dragons over 2 dragons with this composition of RIX. They had the opportunity to get the second dragon because they had killed the enemy jungler, but they just screwed up the fight. And that one thing pretty much cost them the game. Because as I said, right now, they have to make some sort of a crazy play. And you can see they are kind of trying to do it, because Snitch is trying to split push, but I feel like now they realize, like, I mean, Snitch is not going to be able to do anything against Aman. Aman is just going to counter out the split pushing every single time. Like, no one is going to be able to kill Aman unless everyone of RIX collapses on him. Like, we saw it happen earlier. Aman was even able to 1 versus 2 them. And here, you can see he's going on Snitch. He's not afraid. Like, Aman is not afraid of anything. I mean, look at his health bar. The health bar is so big. And while I'm talking, by the way, Random picks up a solo bolo kill on Changxi. That is a thing that Renekton can still do, of course, against these types of champions. Wow. wow, that's Echo for you guys right here. And beautiful Echo ultimate as well. This is the late game composition, guys. And I mean, what can I say? This is the late game composition of IceCream. Like, you honestly cannot do anything against it as RIX. You really cannot do anything against it. Like, there is no... So there are a few things that have no counter. Like Echo going in like that and pretty much one-shotting you. That's a thing that pretty much has no counter. I mean, what do you do against that? Nothing. Like, the only counter you have is using stasis instantly. But even that, it's just so hard to do. Because Echo will pretty much one-shot you with his abilities at this point of the game. If you're sitting at like 50% health, Echo is gonna one-shot you. He has that Infinity Orb as well, so he's gonna do even more damage to an enemy that is at a low amount of HP. So the Elder Dragon is spawning, and the Baron is up. Again, like, RIX has to do something crazy. RIX has to make some sort of a crazy play, like maybe rushing the Elder Dragon. I wouldn't recommend rushing the Baron, because rushing Baron is super hard, but rushing Elder is a possibility. So like, they just have to make a crazy play. They have to try to make it happen, because they're not gonna win the conventional way. They're not gonna win the normal way. Random. Oof, he nearly got caught right there by the Echo's second ability. If he got caught there, he would have just straight up died. Like, no way that he can survive. So IceCream is just trying to play it safe now. All 5 are sticking together. No one is split pushing. They just want a team fight because they know they have an advantage during a team fight. And they're sticking to the Elder Dragon. The reason that they're not playing around the Baron is because they want to give the RIX 0 chance to win this game. So let's say IceCream rushes the Elder Dragon. RIX could, or let's say they rush the Baron, RIX could have gotten the Elder Dragon, but you can see IceCream is just going for the fight straight up. They don't want to give RIX a single chance to win. And although RIX is doing quite a lot of damage to the composition of IceCream, as you can see, RIX is doing a good job right there. And Doom on the Morgana is doing so much overtime damage during these team fights as well, because that's the one person that does have a very strong late game champion. But here you can see it. Yet again, like Echo, it's not, you can't counter this. It's crazy that RIX doesn't have the counters for this. And Snitch just unfortunately screwed up his ultimate here. He had the chance to kill Echo right there, by the way. Snitch could have gotten the kill, but unfortunately he wasn't able to hit his shurikens. Here, A-Man, you know, yet again, just applying that pressure. I mean, look at him, look at him, look at him. He's literally just standing still just to annoy RIX right here. Just to buff the wave. He just wants to annoy RIX right there, because it's gonna take RIX so much longer to push out that wave if it's buffed by a hole breaker. That is hilarious, honestly. I just realized the name of the item Snitch has is Serpent's Fang. Pretty sure that's the item. That's the name of the item, the anti-barrier item, which is such a smart item to go for in this scenario, guys. Interesting. Ibu is going for some sort of a hybrid build. What he is doing, he's going for. He has a Manamune, he has a Ghost Blade, Mortal Reminder, and he's going for a Rift Maker? I suppose for the true damage. And I mean, AP works on Varus, you know, Varus kills with AP, but it's interesting to see, like a mixed build. I have never seen a mixed build on Varus before, to be honest. So right here you can see RIX is trying to do some sort of a split pushing thing again, but they're not doing it because otherwise they lose the Elder Dragon. It's just so hard for RIX to play this game out. I mean look at this. Random is just getting destroyed, and 7 with a beautiful engage on that Shyvana, but again it's not enough. Like honestly, it doesn't really get much better than this for RIX. Like how do you make a better engage than this? They're able to kill off Yone, they're able to kill off Karma, but like it's just, you can see it's a 4 versus 3 right now, but I still think they're gonna lose this. I genuinely still think they lose this 4 versus 3. Because Echo still has his ultimate. Like you can see it. They kill 2 people of IceCream, but they still cannot do anything. It's just so hard for RIX to win this game. So hard to kill off the entirety of IceCream. And Snitch on Ibu. Ooh, he nearly killed Ibu right there. He nearly killed Ibu right there, but was barely not able to kill him. So Snitch is really trying to make use of his ultimate. I mean, look at the ultimate timer next to his name. His ultimate is on like what, like a 20-second cooldown. It's around 20 seconds that late game ultimate. So he is trying to make use of that to try to cheese the enemies, and you know, get a kill, get like a sneaky kill. Because again, like those are the only ways that they can win this game. Here, like I feel like RIX could just, yeah, exactly, just start off the dragon. Like I know it's not gonna work, but you have to try it. Like let's say IceCream doesn't see it, then you get the dragon. You can see they realize that it doesn't work, so now they're gonna try to fight again. But I love how RIX is always trying to do something. They're always trying to do something. And ooh, this is the last team fight. Unfortunately, the spectators having a bit of issues, but there it is. IceCream, they are winning the fight. they are getting the kills, although they are getting to a low amount of HP, but they're just winning the fight. And yeah, this is the end of the game. I believe the game crashes right now because unfortunately the spectator lost the game. But yeah, this is the end of the game. IceCream killed off RIX and they were able to finish the game. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Becoming a Wild Rift Expert. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.